Okay, so I worked a little bit off camera. As you can see, I didn't do too much. I just was pretty much placing certain things like fence posts and the tilt of this gate over here. I'm really trying to keep this, tertiary item in the composition of like this loopy thing happening, and I kind of dig that a lot, and it has a lot to do with keeping also in sync with the perspective. Now my horizon, my vanishing point, somewhere like right about here, because this is tilting up, has to come up to it. This tilting down has to come down to it. So I'm going to say my vanishing point is like right over there. So I'm just looking at this also, and I really do like the highlight on top of the geese top plane. So I'm going to probably connect both sides with this cast shadow. This is made up cast shadow. Now you can see what I'm doing here. I am totally shading behind the fence before I get into the fence. Horizontal strokes that way, and most of the fence is middle tone, so I'm pretty safe if I shade it middle tone. And you can also see that I put in a distant rolling hill over here, and these trees drove me a little nuts. I know you can't see it right now, but you can still see their marks. That's just because I didn't plan ahead. I had that happy accident of trying to incorporate something different into the landscape, so I wasn't copying it 100%. And this all got to be very thin over here. I'll probably do something with a different shaped tree over here, a little bit further back. And I'm also starting now to loop around. Some of the stuff I took some artistic license, like I looped around. I'm trying to almost create like a canopy of these trees that are sagging. So we've got like this really romantic opening over there. And I'm pulling from this tree how this one is really looped. And I can do another one. There is one actually right over here. So this I'm just like really freehanding, but it's good to have like that base. Notice also how I'm starting to make these tree trunks skinnier, because albeit this is more of a midground, this is a midground closer to the foreground, but as these trees go further back, I'm just trying to get them to be more skinny and lighter. So doing this stuff very light is awesome. And I'm doing all my tree trunks once again before I even think about putting in the leaves, because the tree trunks are really giving me flow. So you gotta like go slow at this section. Don't like go through it too quickly. I mean, most of our work was done, like I said, on the process setup. But there's a lot of little things that can make or break your drawing in this stage as well. So this is now where I am starting, and I understand that this is probably really light, so I don't want to film too much of this for you, but this is where I'm starting to move around the drawing now, and I'm not just staying in that one spot, because there does come that time where you have to block in everywhere, even if you do have like your process drawings. So let's just lay this in now. Remember, I said I would probably smudge most of this, and I probably will. But since it's just the base, that's okay. So a little further down to the ground, I want to get a little darker. And just got to make sure that these trees taper as they get higher. Don't make them thicker up top. I mean, I'm sure there are some trees that get a little bit thicker in one or two areas, but they're few and far between. There's a lot that I can do. This is my little valley area right over here that I kind of want to keep light. Just blocking in. This is going to be really transparent, this distant one. I can do another one back there as well. But see how that looks so far back and how she's coming forward? Why? Because of hard edges. This is a real hard edge because of contrast. no contrast over here. I'm even going to probably even consider tapping this with my paintbrush, which I can't find at the moment, which is telling me that my daughter came into my studio and took it. So I can tap that later, or I can smudge it with my finger. So just block in, and I want to also do some stuff over here, just to give myself some context. And I think the place that I'm weakest right now is up top here. So just let's lay in these branches. The leaves are going to go on top of them. Have some going up with the opposite direction. And this is really a cool trick too. See, sometimes when you do a branch, it loops down again, loops down again, loops down again. And that's kind of really cool. Now, you got to be careful with some of these branches that you don't overdo them, because they start to get that horror quality, like a horror book. All I need now is like a haunted mansion. And, now that I'm looking at this, I don't think I'm going to do this, but no, I'm going to keep the original size. That will really kill me, shading all that. Let's just get in this. Perspective, perspective, perspective. And this has got a real intricate edge, this building, just because all the wood was cut organically with a non-power tool, and they put it on the building not so perfectly as well. So that contour is really going to add a lot. And let's just get in the base of this building. I think it's important. I know some of this is off camera right now, so I won't work over there. I'll just be really conscious of that for you. Just got like another minute left in this tutorial anyway, but this is what I mean about starting small, and then, that's good. Just branch out a little bit as well. Feel the drawing out. And there's lots of branches. I'm not going to do it in this section right now because I'll smudge it all on this side. But let's just get in lots of little things. We're going to go over all of this when we get in our leaves. Oh, forgot about this coming up. I'll have to go back into this and make this even more intricate with a sharper pencil. But I'm doing stuff more in the background, midground first. I'm ignoring all the fence, because the fence is really dark. It almost seems like this side of the building is a little bit wet. The wood got really dark, or maybe it's always in the shade. So the wood has really darkened over the years. Okay, that's it for this chapter. When we come back, we'll do some leaves.